Hello, I am shooting a video today to show you a quick demonstration, hopefully quick, on how I do my felt work. This is a very fun craft, easy to, quick to make, doesn't require very many specialized tools that are expensive, and a lot of it you probably already have at your house. So this is my hello video, and then I'm going to cut away to the actual demonstration. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this. Here are two of my latest projects that I've done in needle felting. This one is not finished, but it's cut on a piece of felt. Dale had some out in his shop that he was going to use, and then he ended up not using it, so I got lucky. It's just a big piece of felt that I have cut some out of. I'm going to do a small project so that I can show you start to finish how I do this. So I used felt. You don't have to use felt. If you have an old sweater, that is perfect. Just cut it up into the size that you like and start with that. And you will need a marker or a pen, something that you can write on your sweater or felts. Here's another project. I did this last night, and this is what I'm talking about. When you you know, a lot of crafts, it takes a long time to get to the finish line, and that is not the case when it comes to needle punching. I start to finish, I did not time myself, but probably a couple of hours to do this goddess. And she's pretty good size. I would say total about, I don't know, 8.5 by 12, maybe 14, something like that. This one was very simple. It's just one color of yarn. This yarn is very thin and maybe not the best option for felting, especially for your first time around. But the one thing I will say is for her face, it was good for features because it's very thin, and it was I was able to get the facial features on there, which I would not have been able to do so with a thicker yarn. So if you have a thicker yarn, you can take it apart and then use it to do the facial features, and it allows me to do more detailed work. So thicker yarn, if you want to make some time, like this right here, this one, this was very thick yarn that I used. Here's the yarn that was done with, and it is really thick, okay? And therefore, this little section where I did this, I think this is going to be like a little angel, is what she's turning out to be. And what I did here was used a little doily that I had made, a little, you know, like a little star that I had crocheted. Sometimes I just make little stars because they're fun to do. I like working with yarn. And anyway, I used it as her hat or her hair. And then I used a light colored peach. And again, this is a very thin yarn, and use that for her skin color. And then you know, I use the thicker stuff for her dress. And that's how I did this one. So I wanted to show you my latest projects and to tell you again what you're going to need are some type of material to work on. It can be a sweater or a piece of felt. Those are your easiest options. It can be other things too, but it needs to be a weave that you can put a needle through, and that's what I use, is felting needles. Now the other thing that I use is this brush, and these brushes are expensive. I will say that. I mean, and when I say that, they're not that bad, but they're like you know, $15 or so, and I don't know that you'll be able to find them. There's other ways you can go with this. This is used to put your work on, and then you put your felt on, and then you poke it through with a needle. Now the other thing that you can use is one of two things: an old sock, and that you don't care if you ever see it again. Fill it with some rice And then you've got, and then, you know, tack it down. Obviously, you can do so with a rubber band, and then you have a quick temporary surface to use that you can felt on. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. Another thing you can do is to make your own with it's basically you're making a little bean bag, and you can do that with burlap and then put some rice in it. But a quick and easy way to do it is to use a sock, and then you're ready to rock and roll. So don't be discouraged if you don't have one of these and you want to do this. So really, therefore, all you need is a bag of rice. You need a felting needle, and they come in a couple different ways. Sometimes you can buy a little kit for felting, and you'll have this needle in there, and that came with some kit that I got. Or the needles will look like this, okay? And that's it. That's all you need. And some yarn and some felt or a sweater, and then you're ready to go. Okay, I'm going to get set up, and then I will start the demonstration. All right, so the first thing you do is you need to start with a design. And for simplicity's sake, I am going to go with a very small piece of felt that I've cut. So cut your fabric, whatever it is you're using, whether it's sweater or a piece of felt. And just so you know, felt is incredibly inexpensive. Even without a coupon, you can buy like a 12-inch by 12-inch sheet for like a quarter. And that's if you just get it a very small piece. Or if you buy it by the yard, it's even cheaper. And they've always got remnants thrown out in the bin, leftovers from where they have cut other people's felt. So it's very inexpensive. Okay, so I've cut a small piece of felt, and then the next thing I do is I draw a design. Now I'm going to keep it, like I said, I'm going to keep it really simple, and I'm going to draw, I don't know what I'm going to draw, I'm just going to start doing it. So I'm going to do that now. And if you're not sure, like sometimes I'll start with a pen, but today I'm just winging it because I want to get this video up and done. And I'm not worried if it's perfect or not. That's the other thing about this art, is that there is no right or wrong, which I love. You make the rules, so you do what you want. But I'm drawing a loose little flowy. I think I'm going to make it a girl. I love doing faces, so I'm going to make her, but I want to keep it small enough that I can actually finish it in a short video. And so I'm drawing out so that I have a guide when I start to use my felt. And I think this one will be a good one because I'll be able to show you. I hope that this is, I hope I'm catching this. There we go. She's cute. Okay. So there's my, I can't tell. Yeah, I think you can make that out. So I've taken my marker and I've drawn my design. And here's what I'm starting with. Just a little flower head bust of a girl. And I am using, for most of it, I'm going to use just some multicolored yarn. Any kind of yarn works for most of the time. And I am going to pull out enough to where, let's just take this off. But I got this at Walmart. They have these, it's like $2.88 for a whole thing of it, so it's not expensive. And you don't use a lot of it either. That's the other cool thing about this. It's not an expensive hobby to have. Alright, then the next thing I do is I take my fabric and I make sure that I spread it tight. In the past, I have used a, I'll just show you. I have used one of these in the past, but honestly, if you use a piece of felt, you're able to stretch it out over your work surface, so it's not really necessary. If you use a thinner piece of fabric, then yeah, you might want to use one of these for stretching it out.